Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks and I'm Keef, and today I'm going to show you how to make English muffins. So you probably all know the old nursery rhyme, do you know the Muffin Man? If you watch this recipe, you will do. Anyway, I call them English muffins because the Americans have a thing that's like a cupcake that they call a muffin, and it isn't. And you know, us Brits, we don't call them English muffins because, you know, they're muffins, and they're lovely and they're quite easy to make. So let's do it. So to make this muffin dough, we start off with a little starter culture, for which you need 100 grams of strong white bread flour, 120 grams of liquid and 5 grams of fresh yeast, or a third of a sachet of active dried yeast. Now the liquid could be water, but in this case I'm actually using whey because I keep trying to make mozzarella without much success, but what I do make with lots of success is gallons of whey, and that gives it a nice acidic, tangy flavour, which is pretty good for these. So first thing to do, mix everything together. So crumble in the yeast, give it a little stir, and then add the liquid and stir that in. Stir everything together really well till it's nice and smooth and glossy. Okay, that'll do. So cover that and leave it in a warm place till it's bubbled away and fermented and doubled in bulk. Now for the dough itself, you need 400 grams of strong white bread flour, 240 mils of liquid, 50 grams of butter, 10 grams of yeast, or the rest of your sachet of active dried yeast, a teaspoon of salt, and some semolina for dusting. Now in this case, for this one, your liquid should be milk, but again I'm using whey. Okay, our starter is ready, so we'll make the main dough. Just put everything into a big bowl. That's the flour, teaspoon of salt, crumble in the yeast, and break the butter up into little bits. Stir those all together. Now we add the whey, or the milk, if that's what you're using. And now stir in the starter. Okay, that's all mixed up, and we just want to sprinkle some semolina onto the worktop. Tip out the dough onto it. Now we need to knead it for about 10 minutes till it's nice and smooth and elastic. And guess what? I made a mistake there. That shouldn't have been semolina, that should have been flour. Semolina is for the final stage. So the kneading, we just pull it, stretch it, roll it, fold it, twist it, roll it, stretch it. Keep on doing that for 10 minutes and we'll have what we want. So all this kneading, it's exactly the same process as for doing normal bread, because we want to get the gluten alive and kicking, and eventually you get to this stage where it forms a nice ball that isn't too sticky. So now we'll pop this in a bowl with a little bit of oil, and we'll leave that in a warm place to double in size again, which will take an hour or two. If you don't want to do that, if you've got time, you could put this in the fridge and let it rise overnight, and that will actually give you a better result, but I'm in a hurry. So here's our dough, magnificently risen. I can't believe that. And what we're going to do now is tip it out onto some semolina. Yes, really, not flour. And just like with bread, you knock it back, you knock out the air, and we're just gonna form this into a sheet about 2.5 centimeters, 1 inch thick. I'm going to use a cutter. This is 75mm diameter, 3 inches, and just cut out our muffins. I've got a baking sheet here lined with more semolina. And just pop them all on there. Leave space between them because they will expand again. And there we have 9 very nice looking proto muffins and a bit left over to make a mini one. And now cover this lot with a clean tea towel and let them prove for another half hour, and they will rise again, they will expand. Now our muffins have risen somewhat. Oh, look at those. Oh. And now it's time to cook them. Now I should say, when I first started making muffins, I always assumed they were baked, but actually they're not. They are griddled, which means they're cooked on a hot plate, if you've got one, or a hot frying pan without any oil. So I've got my frying pan, nothing in it, and I've got it on 6. You will have to experiment with this because all cookers are different. This ceramic hob, the rings go from 0 to 9. So I've got it on 6, so you know that's kind of medium. Now we're gonna do these in batches of 3 because can't fit any more in the pan, and you don't want to overcrowd your pan. And basically they need 6 minutes each side. So that's been 6 minutes, and now we'll just flip them over. Oh, look at that. That's pretty much perfect. The trick with muffins, you need to get the inside cooked without burning the outside, and that's the thing that takes a bit of practice. Okay, here we are at Mount Muffin. My goodness, these are amazing things. So let's have a little taste. Oh, fantastic, amazing. So these would normally be served as a breakfast thing, maybe with a fried egg or some bacon, or as an afternoon tea thing with butter and jam like a scone, or whatever you like, really. And so now, when your friends say, "Do you know the Muffin Man?" you can say, "Yes, I do. He lives in Madrid." That's all, folks. If you liked it, please share it with all your buddies on social media, and please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and don't forget the amazing website that has all the details about everything. And thank you for watching.